Hello again, garden and homestead friends. Mickey and Kathy back with you again today. We're out here in our tomato garden, and this is about a week before the 4th of July, and we're going to be picking our ripe tomatoes. Generally, we always have them before the 4th of July, right? But we're picking some of our cherry tomatoes today. Now, these are the Sweet 100, and they are just delicious for a salad or just eating them straight up. But we wanted to look at our tomatoes. Now, as everybody knows, if you've watched our videos, these are my favorite, Jetstar. They're an indeterminate plant. And I've got them into baskets like I normally grow the tomatoes. And I can tell you that if you're looking for a basket or a cage for your tomatoes, you should make one out of your farm fence, because it's going to last for years and years and years, and it's much better than anything you can purchase at a box store or anywhere else. But I've also, this year, I've got my pipe up here to hold the weight of the tomatoes, and I'm using my twine and the clips to hold the tomatoes up. From the weight of the tomatoes, the plant will collapse if it doesn't have some sort of a support. But if you're not familiar with these clips, let me show you how this works. And you can purchase this any garden supplies. From one of our other videos, we give you the description and the book, the picture of the book with the telephone number to contact Martin's Produce in Kentucky. But I've been using these clips for decades. But they're real simple. You want to hook your plant under the limb that's above your stem of tomatoes, and that is going to capture the weight of that stem of tomatoes. And it's really simple. Whenever you find where you want to put it, you just put it to the string and clip it, and it stays in place. So that's pretty handy. And like I said, I've used those 20 years ago. I used to do a taller pipe and longer strings. And if you want to get you a ladder, you can just grow these until you can't reach no more. I think the world record on the tallest tomato indeterminate plant, somewhere around 65 feet tall. But these are our Jetstars, and they're doing pretty good this year. Let me say this. We were behind schedule for the last couple of months, and we got our garden out late, actually. Normally, when I plant the plants, when I first plant them, I'll give them a drink of Miracle-Gro. And then once the plant starts growing pretty good, once it starts putting on blooms, I'll add the calcium nitrate, some liquid, into the fertilizer to make it produce more blooms and set more fruit. But this year, we haven't done anything. We were lucky to even get them planted. So let me just tell you, none of these tomatoes have had any kind of fertilizer at all. When I planted them, I put a handful of worm castings in the bottom, and then I set the plant on top of that, and then I put compost to fill it in around the plant. And that is all that's been done to these plants. And as far as our Sweet 100s, they just take off. If you can just keep them basket or trellised up, they'll just keep growing and producing. But I love our Jetstar tomatoes, and it looks like for the most part they're doing pretty good. I think they're probably equal to last year, but man, we have already picked a couple of ripe ones, and it is good. So over here we only have 3 of the cherry sweet tomatoes, Sweet 100s, but the rest of these are our Amish paste, and these are our cannon tomatoes. Now, if you're not familiar with the Amish paste tomato, they're more of a meaty tomato with less juice. Your Jetstar is really good slicing tomato, and it's a really good meaty tomato as well. But I just love growing the Jetstars. I've done this for decades and decades. But our favorite as far as canning would be the Amish paste. Now, last night we got out here and with our black light and found a few worms on a few different plants, and the chickens had a treat this morning. But and that's, by the way, if you don't know, as far as the tomato hornworm, the best way to find them is with a black light. Just come out after dark and you'll see them 2 or 3 feet away before you even get to the plant. But as far as our Amish paste, we've got a couple of ripe ones for that, but we're about to pick some really good jet stars that I believe we'll take them in the house, and it won't be but just about an hour or two, and that'll be gone, I can just tell you. But we've got a few to pick this morning, and we're really thankful for that. As you can see, we have a drip system on everything that we're growing. And again, all of these products can be purchased at Martin's Produce, but I've been using the drip system for a long time, and it just takes the work out of having to water your garden. Once you have everything complete and set up, when you want to water your garden, you just turn the water on slightly because there's a pressure valve. You can't get too much pressure to these lines, but you just turn your water on and time it forever how long you want it to be watered, and then you go back and turn it off and you're done. That's all the work that's required to water your garden. That's one of the benefits of having a smaller garden, but we have a lot of produce inside this small garden. This tomato section is about 350 square feet, and we've probably got about 35 or 40 tomato plants here, and this is going to be more than we'll ever be able to do anything with, and we'll have plenty of extras. But you can see that it doesn't take a half of an acre to grow this many tomatoes. So the square foot gardening, the way we do it here on the terraces, it's all about how you plan each of your plants and how far you're going to space everything. As you can see, these tomato plants are about 20 inches apart, and that is plenty of room. Now you can see that this is just one stem because I sucker these tomatoes, the Jet Star tomatoes. You can see that how these on this side, the Amish paste, the baskets are full. These are also an indeterminate, but these haven't been suckered, so they're just going to be bush after stem to make a bigger bush. Let me see if I can find a sucker. Here's one. We covered this in another video, but in order to make one stem of a plant, anytime that there's any growth in the crotch or the elbow, you just want to come in and pinch that out. And that stops it from making so many different stems that's going to continue to grow like this tomato plant. So essentially this is one stem that has tiers of tomatoes. Now you can see here that some aphids have got in here on these plants. You can see that these are missing. That's from an aphid. An aphid got in there and drank the juice on that stem and it died. I did notice some aphids about a week ago, and I came in and squished them with my fingers, and I've not seen any more aphids. And if you do see them, they're very hard to see, but if you see the adults, just squish them because they lay a lot of eggs and they will take over your tomatoes before you know it. This one, well, there's a little sucker. Guys, the reason we sucker our Jet Star tomatoes, and let me show you again what I'm talking about. In the elbow or the crotch of the plant, you can see that there's another plant that's wanting to make another stem, and so we're going to pinch that out. And that drives all of the energy of the tomato. For the plant itself, it drives the energy to the tomatoes, and so you'll wind up with bigger tomatoes. This one is ready to pick. We love Jet Star tomatoes, slicing tomatoes. These are our favorites as far as a sandwich. Can you show on the other side? See how the tomatoes are? Now guys, you can see that our Electroculture antennas, we have them around our plants. We also, as far as our metal stakes, anytime we have a metal stake in the garden, we're adding a magnet to it. And that is a different form of electromagnetic energy that we're trying to capture. But with our baskets as an Electroculture method, Our electroculture antenna is another method. And so every time that we can come up with a different method that works for our garden, then it's just going to benefit you and your garden and your plants. And at the end of the day, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for lots of vegetables. Let's go up and take a look at our peppers in our container garden. You can see how the drip system works. Now, when you're buying the drip tape, this one, as you can see, has a drip about every 4 inches, but you can specify what type of drip tape you want. You can get it where it does it every 1 foot, or you can get it where it drips every 2 foot or 6 inches. But I've always used the one on 4-inch setting, and it provides plenty of water to our plants. Now, we get a lot of questions about what size are these containers. These are a 45-gallon container that you can, if you're lucky, you can find a landscaping company that has a lot of these from where they're planting their trees. And sometimes that you can find them pretty reasonable. And these on this side, these are more of a 25-gallon. And so they work great for our peppers. And you can see that these peppers are really doing good. And we've already been picking them as well. And our banana peppers, they are just rocking. These are some nice banana peppers. But you can see, I just turned the water on and let it drip for an amount of time, and I'll come back and I'll turn it off, and then you're done with your watering. But these, look how many blooms are on these. These dudes are really coming on good. And you can see our Electroculture copper antenna. But these banana peppers are really doing good. We've been picking a lot of these so far. But we wanted to share today, give you an update on our garden, and we wanted to show our drip system. Now, these containers is where we had our Pontiac red potatoes, and we've already dug them, and I went back with some green beans, some bush. They may or may not do okay. It's according on how hot it's going to be. But we've had some really hot temperatures here already, and so we thought we'd give it a try. They may do something. If nothing else, they're going to add some nitrogen into our soil. But we just wanted to give you an update on our garden today, and hope you enjoyed our video, and give us a thumbs up. And if you like our video, subscribe to our channel, Hills Mill Homestead. And we're going to keep gardening and picking vegetables, and we'll see you on the next video.